Welcome back to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Esper Control. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Dominaria United Standard gameplay video. You may notice that we are not going to be doing a collection update this weekend, things like that. Instead, we are going to be pumping out as much gameplay as possible. Thank you to John, who has really been helping us out and making sure that we have tons of video content for you guys, as well as the live stream content. So John has been just the MVP of this whole thing. So thank you so much. But guys, I am really excited for this deck. This is Esper Control. This is my own tweaking of the list. The base list was pulled, but the changes that I have made, I think, are good ones. Mostly I wanted to ensure that we had Liliana of the Veil included in this list. I think this is such a good card. If you can get this down turn 3 and start that uptick, it doesn't seem all that difficult to get to that ultimate. For a deck like this, which is very controlling and very easily handling the board. You can tell just by looking at the deck, we've got a lot of ways to deal with the board. We've got Cut Down, brand new removal spell, fantastic card. We've got Fateful Absence, of course. We've got a one of Infernal Grasp, the Meat Hook Massacres, the Path of Peril, the Hero's Downfall, just tons of stuff. Oh, Farewell sitting at the very top. Just tons of stuff to kind of deal with whatever we see on the board. And the idea is we don't even have to deal with the entirety of the board. What we have to deal with is down to one creature on the board, because if we can kill it with a Liliana, then the rest of the removal in our hand becomes proactive, where we're just keeping things off the field while we uptick that Lily and hopefully get to that ultimate. Now, obviously, that's one plan. The other plan is to get to things like Hullbreaker Horror or just the Wandering Emperor to get some creature power onto the board so we can start attacking in, and it still is a matter of controlling the board at that point, which, again, we do quite well. We do have a number of counter spells with Make Disappear and then a one-of Spell Pierce. These are just really good options for us to make sure that we are controlling what the opponent can play. We do have Impulse here, and Memory Deluge is our draw cards of choice. Both are phenomenal. We've talked about Impulse like every deck so far. Looking at 4 cards for 2 mana at instant speed, amazing. Memory Deluge, vastly similar for 4 mana. You get to look at quite a number of cards as well, and then take 2 of them. With that flashback cost as well, it's a really easy discard to the Liliana, especially in the late game. Hullbreaker Horror, of course, if we can get it down, is basically, it's not 100% of a win, but it's pretty close. It's very difficult to deal with this in terms of, you know, if we just have another Impulse or something like that, we just kind of just bounce everything. It's a really mean, oppressive style deck. So that is the list as of right now. I did make some sacrifices on the lands solely because of wild cards, so I do have a few more basics in here than I think you would generally play. But I also did lose some of the pain point of the Caves of Koilos, which deal 1 damage to you every time you tap for colored mana. So a bit of a trade-off there for sure, but all in all, guys, I think this is going to be a really fun deck. Playing Control early in a standard rotation is a little bit of a tricky thing, so I'm going to warn you now that that might not work very well. On the other hand, it could work exceedingly well, so we're going to see how this goes as we jump into the games here. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what kinds of decks we'll be up against, so let's give it a shot, guys. Let's see what we can do. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy Esper Control. All right, guys, here we are for game number 1. I think based on the Impulse and the fact that we have double black, I am okay to keep this. Don't love it, of course, because we don't have the white mana for the Fateful Absence, but this should be okay. Oh, perfect. There we go. Problem solving. All right. So we just get to Impulse at the end of turn here, make sure that we've got whatever we need into our hand, and then we should be good to go. So what do we need? I honestly think it's just the land. It's a really underwhelming pick, but that guarantees us the 4th mana that we will need, so that's perfectly fine. So I'm actually going to plus up here. This might seem a bit odd, I get it, but this negates the 1 that we're taking here, and that's it. And that's not that big of a deal, so I think I'd rather just make them kind of go through this process of discarding cards. We can discard a land now that we've got extras, and then we can deal with this later after we've already kind of handled some of the cards in hand. So just seems like an easy way to do it. Nice. Very cool. Love that. Braids is awesome, but it's actually not all that helpful for them at the moment. They do draw some cards for sure, but I don't think that's all that good. Let's see, what's the best option for us here? I'm gonna make them, again, discard a card. I'm gonna discard the Deluge. And we are actually just going to pass, I think. So we can Wandering Emperor at instant speed to exile the Braids, which should be perfectly fine. Oh, what a card. Okay. That's actually not the end of the world for us, though, so that's fine. We'll see if they actually attack in. Okay, they do. Excellent. So this is perfectly reasonable. We will go ahead and exile the Braids. This is also going to negate the 2 damage that we're going to take from the Shieldred, which is fine. Cool. All right. Let's make them sack a creature here. I think that's perfectly reasonable. And then we'll just plus up. I do kind of want to hold on to both of these because Path of Peril, as we see, they are like a mid-range mono-black creature heavy deck, and so Path of Peril will get them if they just go for like 2 creatures this turn or something like that. If they only go for 1 big one, we just have the Fateful Absence that can deal with it right away, so it's not really a big problem. Okay. Unfortunately, we do give them a card draw in this scenario, but I think this is okay. Awesome. All right, they're gonna go ahead and draw, that's fine. Would love land, actually, yeah, there we go. Just so we can get to this. All right, I will go ahead and minus, and yeah, I think we are just gonna end up discarding this, so let's go ahead and do that. They lose a land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 1 more land, and we've got Memory Deluge to refill, and then we should be okay. Okay. Very good. They get to return, I'm assuming, yep, Shakedown Heavy. Fantastic card. Not really. Ooh, there we go. Target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If they don't, oh, that's fine. Not really all that worried about that. Okay, so let's definitely plus. I am gonna just make them sacrifice a creature. Just trying to keep the pressure off for the most part. We'll hit him for 3, and then probably we're just gonna Memory Deluge at instant speed. Resolve. I'm gonna decline. I'll allow the draw card, given that we're able to manage some of the discard. Sure. Okay, so they're just gonna return it again. That's fine. Again, we have the opportunity to Memory Deluge. We're gonna look at 7 cards out of this. Which is pretty awesome. We also don't draw those cards. This is purely just to see what we get, which is really awesome. Ooh, I love Memory Deluge here. So we'll take that, and I think we'll just take this. Pretty straightforward. Oh, meant to put a stop on upkeep so we didn't have to lose the 2, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and do this now. Easy enough. All right, let's plus, let's attack in first, I believe. We'll go ahead and Memory Deluge now. I know that might seem a little odd, but I think that's fine. We'll take a Marsh and probably just a Caves, because we're gonna end up discarding one of these. So let's do this. Let's do this, and we'll discard the Caves. Again, I do like the Pain Lands. For those of you who don't know, the Pain Lands are just the name that's been given to those over the years, but they were printed in like Apocalypse or something. Like it was a long time ago. We're gonna decline. You can have another card, I don't care. The pain lands are very good for the fixing side of it, but it is a little tricky when they are so damage dealing, if that makes sense. Like they deal a lot of damage to the player, which is less than ideal for the most part. Whenever regional, okay. So the question is, do we go ahead and do this? No, I don't think so. I don't think we need to. Let's go ahead and spread the board out just a little bit here. I am gonna, we didn't have to discard the waste here. That was a bit of a mistake, but that's okay. Let's attack in. Let's see if they actually do anything. Yep. That's fine. I kind of don't care if this gets counters on it, because it just means we can Fateful Absence it. So that's fine. Would love a Farewell, honestly. Farewell would be a pretty dominating card right now, solely because we could exile their graveyard. It gets rid of the underdog. It gets rid of this. Like, kind of does a lot for us. I'm going to go ahead and Memory Deluge here. Another Lily, another one of those. Oh, all right. There we go, guys. We did it. We got the win. I think the opponent saw the writing on the wall. That was just, oh, chef's kiss. Perfect. Love that. Let's jump into game 2. This month's Patreon rewards feature some of the most impactful Lotuses in Magic's history. Check out all the details and sign up at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. This is definitely a keep, I think. A little bit awkward because we don't have the turn 1 cut down thanks to Rafine's Tower being a tapped land. But again, I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world, to be honest, and it looks like it definitely won't be. Would love to draw an extra land here, so we do have the Wandering Emperor as an option for us. Do we counter this, or do we just use cut down? I think it's cut down. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. Yeah, we'll just do that just so they don't have any options there. Okay, so if we do this, this leaves up Make Disappear plus cut down, which I think is the best bet. Yep, totally fine. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna, I'm gonna overly counter and overly remove here because we do have the Wandering Emperor coming down. And so I think I'd rather kind of push that. What's nice though here, of course, we can just kind of pass and leave up Memory Deluge if they just don't have anything. So this seems okay. Down to 4 cards in hand. Nice one. I do really love Catilda. If you don't know, Catilda is stupid good. I'm gonna throw out the Wandering Emperor. We're gonna try and be a bit proactive here, I believe. Not 100% certain, of course, that this is the right call, but we are definitely gonna try it. All right, let's get an attack in. They are gonna warmly embrace 3 damage to the face, and what's nice is because this has vigilance, like it's not easy for them to just crack back and get to the Wandering Emperor. You know what I mean? Nice. Okay. Very good. Yep, Memory Deluge for sure. Definitely want to pull a land. And it might just be another Farewell. Just to have like the option, you know? I think that's the play. I think that's definitely the play. Okay, well, that kind of solves our problem a little bit. All right, we'll do this first. Let's attack in, anticipating that they won't be blocking anything, for obvious reasons. And I think I'm just gonna go for this. Exile creatures, exile graveyards. I just kind of don't want them to have anything, if that makes sense. It's not really the most exciting play in the world, I guess, but it kind of works. And so here we just get to double farewell and really kind of push the envelope. And then they don't have anything. So yeah, we're just gonna do this again. Exile all creatures. All right, they're down to nothing in hand. We've got a Planeswalker and a 2/2 on the field, plus a Cut Down and a Hullbreaker Horror. So that's helpful. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, truthfully, it's okay because I'm just happy we got the creature out onto the battlefield first. And now we can just Hullbreaker Horror whenever we need to. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it down. Von Trapp Family Singer is a very funny name, by the way. Didn't even notice that. If anybody knows the Sound of Music, I love music. It's a blast. All right, let's do this. I think we just attack in. They're just gonna take it. Excellent. I'm gonna draw a card. Let's see what we get. Make Disappear is not that bad. Yeah. There we go. We did it. Heck yes, guys. That's 2 wins. We definitely have time for a third, though. Let's jump into it. Let's see what we can do. All right, guys. Here we are for game number 3. Definitely think this is a keep with the Impulse and the Cut Down. This seems like a perfectly reasonable start. I'm assuming this might just be mono red. Yeah, okay. Glad we have Cut Down in hand. We definitely just want as much removal as we can get, essentially. Probably are going to want to hold on to that Seat of the Empire as well if we can help it. We'll see what our land situation ends up being, but I think that might just be for the best. Interesting that they went for this line of play. Kind of fine with it, but that's interesting. So, I mean, we just play the Waste. And now we have Impulse plus, or excuse me, Cut Down up. Yeah. That's a cool one. All right. Yeah. So unfortunately we cannot Cut Down on this, which is really unfortunate, but we can take that. That's super helpful. All right. So we definitely just play land. So here's the trick. We have Fateful Absence plus Cut Down available. I don't think we play Lily yet, because the reality is we'd probably make them sacrifice the Firebrand, which unfortunately just means this gets to come in and kill the Lily the following turn, if that makes sense. It's also good that because they have this, it makes it a little trickier as well. So I think this is okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kill this. And let's go ahead and cut down this. That's actually tricky for us to deal with for the most part, so I think I'd rather just go ahead and get rid of it now. All right. Now I do think we go for Lily and make them sack. It's not a very exciting play, I know, but they're not guaranteed a haste creature next turn thanks to us killing that, and so I think this is just a better option, and if they attack, we actually just have the Wandering Emperor, so... yeah, this should turn out relatively okay. I'm going to discard a Wandering Emperor, which is a bit telling. They should probably realize that we have another one. If we're discarding a card like that, I mean, come on, chances are. All right. They're going to play with fire. I think that's fine. I mean, it's not great, but it's fine. Nice. Very good. Fill that board up, please. Would love like a Path of Peril or something. That'd be pretty sick. All right, let's go ahead and exile the Facebreaker. Save ourselves as much damage as possible. We also gain a little bit of life, which is always good. I'm gonna do this. And I'm just gonna do this and go ahead and exile another thing. There we go. We got 3 straight wins, guys. That's an undefeated round for Esper Control. Oh, so nice. All right, let's talk about this. All right, guys, 3 games and no losses. I am beyond excited by that. I think that showcases the powerhouse of the Esper Control deck right now. There are so many tools in the tool shed for this deck. You've got your counter, you've got your amazing removal right now. My goodness, between Fateful Absence, Cut Down, Path of Peril, of course, as a sweeper, as Meat Hook is, but then, of course, Farewell sitting at the top end and just exiling everything. Esper might be sitting at the top at the end of this. I'm just saying. I'm calling it now. All that to say, again, I think it's really important to consider what the meta is going to be at any given particular time. I think right now a lot of people are going to go for the fun decks, the fast decks, the things that, you know, are a little bit easier to jump into right away. You also get people who may not have a ton of wild cards, and so they're going budget, which is perfectly fine. I totally understand. And so you might be able to really capitalize on that if you are just trying to ladder grind or something like that. This is not going to be a fast win deck every single time, but it certainly does give you a lot of options for inevitability, we will say. All that to say, I can't believe we went undefeated, guys. That was perfect. Absolutely love this deck. Highly recommend checking it out. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, probably not going to have a collection update video, just in general, because we're trying to get as much gameplay out as possible. But don't stress, we'll try and be back to that next week. I will be heading out of town for a little while next week, just for a conference, and so I do apologize if I miss a day, but I'm going to try not to. Very excited though, guys. This set is awesome. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon.